other than your relationship with the Lord, there's no decision that any man or woman makes in life more important than that life partner. Uh, and I was blessed beyond measure to find my life partner who has been a dream fulfilled for me. As I jokingly told my mother in the 5th grade, I had found a little girl just my size. When I moved to a new school in the 5th grade, Henrietta was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. She had long hair and she was my size. I chased her until I finally caught her in the 12th grade. And we dated 4 years through Marshall, and then we've now been married for 54 years.
Wow.
And there's never been a moment in my life that I ever doubted that wasn't the most wonderful thing that ever occurred to me. I mean, it's wonderful when we refer to as loving someone madly, but they love you madly back. And marriage to me is not a 50-50 proposition. In fact, marriages don't work if they're 50-50. I tell people who are getting married here, marriage is 80-20. And at any one time, you're sure you're the one that's giving 80%. But if each partner feels that they're giving 80%, you're going to have a great marriage, because I don't worry about anniversaries. I try to treat each and every day of our lives as a very special day. So anniversary to me is not. I don't look for anniversaries and birthdays. I mean, whenever I see something that I can do that I think Henrietta would enjoy, to me, a good marriage is you treat your wife as your queen and she treats you as a king, and each of you work hard to make somebody happy.
Sure.
It's as you and I know, it doesn't always work, and so I'm one of those blessed fellas that it did, and clearly, as the Bible teaches us, two can do far more than one, and so.
What are her greatest strengths, or what do you love most about Henrietta?
She's extremely humble. She's extremely compassionate. She cares about other people, not just her family, but she loves her animals, and I think there is a characteristics of people. People who love animals are a special breed of people.
I agree.
And she loves all the animals. We've adopted every animal that's ever been with. We probably have 70, 80 animals, and she and Audie feed them every morning. And if it's a good year, when my vet bills exceed my doctor bills, and she doesn't like to travel. She doesn't like elegant clothes and furs and jewels. You won't find those on her. But she loves her animals, and she loves her children and her church, and she loves the farm. And throughout most of my career as a lawyer and a banker, there's not a whole lot of things that you can share in common with your wife, or at least you shouldn't, in my opinion. And so the farm has been this thing that we've been able to do together, collecting, dreaming, building. Everything that we've done together. Unfortunately, too many times I get too much credit, and she doesn't. But there would be no farm without Henrietta. Not just her sacrifice, but her hard work and her ideas. We will stand and figure out where to put a building or how to create an exhibit, or I mean, she'll decorate it. So there is no aspect of the museum and the farm that she hasn't been intricately involved with. So everything we have done in this phase of our life, we've done together. Even the accomplishments, I would not have had the ability to have done all of the other things that I have had the joy of doing without the confidence that I've had that I had a wife at home who loved me, who was faithful. I never had to be concerned. I knew she was always taking care of the children. Regardless of when I got home late at night, I had no fear that the children were not being well provided for and cared for, loved. I had this wonderful pleasure. Henrietta could have been whatever she wanted to have been in life. Bless her, she wanted to be a mother and a housewife, and so that set me free to work long and hard. That all requires tremendous time.
Yeah, after hours.
After hours. Yeah. I mean, you don't run you're not a successful lawyer, and you don't run a $1, $2, $3 billion organization and be responsible for a couple of thousand employees, and be involved in all of these other organizations with a 9-to-5 job. So Henrietta has been very supportive. Henrietta has been very encouraging. And throughout my career, our priority has always been, to have Henrietta do what Henrietta wants to do with her family and her church and her children and her grandchildren and her farm. When I went to the law firm, I made it very clear that my wife and I didn't socialize. At the bank, I mean, we worked. And
you guys haven't been big travelers either, have
no,
you?
we don't.
You don't travel the world.
We don't travel the world. We don't. She doesn't like cruises. I traveled a lot as a part of my work.
Right,
traveled with Rockefeller. I've been to Taiwan and to China and Japan, and I've been to Europe and things.
She doesn't like being away from the farm.
She doesn't like being away from the farm, and I'm very fortunate in that regard. So we were able to subdivide ourselves. It's important in a good partnership that each guy doesn't do the same thing. And so if you complement each other, you strengthen each other. And two twines become stronger than one. And so I try to make sure that Henrietta gets more credit than she gets, because there is nothing in life that I have been able to achieve without the grace of my Lord and my sweet life mate.